Hmm? Hey. She said I ran over here. You are too funny, girl. You are hilarious. What up? What up? What's going on? What's going on? How y'all doing today? Yes, we live, baby. Lily. Oh, I got a bunch. Lafia. I got a bunch of stuff to tell y'all. Uh, some of it's gonna be okay. Some of it's not gonna be okay. Hey, Nancy, what's going on? Yeah, it's been a minute. Greetings, greetings. You felt the call. Y'all kill me with that. I felt the call. I felt you. Finally made it live. The clock out for work. I thought IG was glitching. Usually I don't catch you when it says you on. Yeah. There should be a whole lot more people on this live than there is though right now. Jeez. I just started. I literally just hopped on here just to say what's up and also drop some science. Izzy, notify in the chat that I'm on live. Yo. Waiting for this fire. Hey, mama. Hey, Ladeye. Man, what's the word? And I got a new Oracle deck, Izzy. It's getting really hard not to operate out of fear, but if I still gotta pay rent, we good. You did come at the perfect time. You did. Okay. Damn, she said, do we all need to skedaddle up out the U.S.? Okay, so we do have a lot to talk about. And I got a little bit of history I'm gonna talk to you guys about as well. I am gonna give you some information that I found out today that definitely has my wig blowing back. So let's go ahead and just lay it on the table. So Donald Trump has essentially decided to declare war on Iran by attacking 3 of their nuclear facilities. With everything that we have going on right now inside the United States, that's the worst thing that he could have done. And unfortunately, I had an opportunity to look into that on a spiritual level as far as how that's going to go. And this could go one or two ways. It could go one or two ways, okay? It depends on whether or not Iran is afraid to call Trump's bluff or whether or not they decide they're going to call his bluff. What I will say is I'm looking at it from a 50-50 point of view. As far as Iran hitting a strike on American soil, I'm going to say it's 50-50. It could happen. Aside from that, and I mean when I say it could happen, I'm talking about those stakes are very high. Those stakes are very, very, very high because you guys got to take in consideration that Iran has allies. China being one of them. That is problematic. Russia being another. That's problematic. So let me give you the breakdown about what this war is really about. Because it started off between Iran and Israel. This war is not what you guys think that it is. Okay? So let me tell you what's going on more on the galactic level, because this is a galactic war. Okay? This is a war that has already taken place in the cosmos a long time ago. So you ever heard that term called so above, so below? Well, the so below now is coming down onto the earth. Okay? That's what's happening right now. So the battle that's taking place, and it's funny because I started really getting some deep information about these wars and how they were first started in the cosmos first, and then depending on what level of the cosmos or dimensions they're operating on, it eventually trickles down onto the earth. I thought that was really interesting to really hear how that's being done, and so you can see it playing out, the same war that took place in the cosmos, even though they're not fighting anymore. Now that it's gotten all the way down here to the 3rd or 4th dimension, right? Now you're starting to see it play out, maybe not in the exact way the story was told in the heavens, but it's playing out in a different way. Why? Because the same characters are at play right now, even as we speak. I want you guys to understand that this has been a war that's been going on since the beginning of the beginnings. When you guys truly understand what America is, aka Tamari, because that's the real name of America, it's called Tamari. Period. This war stems all the way back to a time when you're looking at Iran, those are Anunnakis. Israel, in terms of that version of Israel, the artificially made Israel, that is the fallen angels. That is what you're looking at. Now, so when you understand that this is a galactic war, then what you're seeing right now, then you'll begin to start understanding it a little bit better in terms of how old and how ancient it's been. This war has been going on for quite some time. Okay? This war started with an archangel, a fallen archangel by the name of Samael. So Samael and Satan are very much behind that. What most of you do not know is that the Anunnaki are also angels. Fallen angels. Not all of them. Not all of them. So you have Anunnaki that are not fallen angels. You have Anunnaki that are fallen angels. And then you have Anunnaki that are also gods. Okay? So they fit into three different categories when you look at it from that perspective. Anunnaki is also not your, how people say that they look. That's one set of Anunnaki that look like that. The Anunnaki, these beings are very, very vast. When you start talking about dealing with the ruler of the Anunnaki, that all started in Superior, called Sirius A. Now, I'm giving you some different information, probably what you've heard, people say before in the past and things like that. But I'm giving you guys some information that came to me based upon me tapping into my own Anunnaki aspects and who they are. Okay? So, they come from Superior. If you guys know about Superior, Superior is the actual sun inside of Sirius A. Okay? So it's like you have Superior, which is one large galaxy, which is the largest galaxy. Sirius is the largest galaxy. Okay? Or the largest star system. And then you have Superior, which is the name of the sun. We know it as Sirius A. The same place where the souls are created. Okay? Now, of course, you have Sirius B, Sirius C, and then you have Sirius X. Hey, how y'all doing? Neo, what's going on? That are on the planet helping us current war. That is correct. At Aaron the Buddha, that is correct. Nemesis says, I strongly get the feeling that LA will be attacked this time. Well, what you got to take into consideration is that since Trump has did this, and the Biden administration had allowed so many people come into the country unchecked, they're saying that there exists what we call sleeper cells. Now, of course, there's some propaganda out here saying Al Qaeda has sleeper cells inside the United States that's now went into activation. What does that mean? That means a possibility of explosions and things like that taking place randomly throughout the United States of America. In my 2024 predictions, I gave you specific instructions about you guys learning how to navigate. Well, now you know what I'm talking about. And I wasn't allowed to divulge the information at that time in terms of what I was seeing. But now I can go ahead and share some more information with you when I did that 2024 predictions. The second one I did last year. It's about this war. And it's not only about this war. There's also some other things that my brother had shared with me in terms of things that he picked up on. And one of the things that my brother, and shouts out to Neo Cosmos, one of the things my brother pointed out to me when he was tapping in, he said that there was going to be those who got that JAB. Those individuals are going to start getting snatched up and taken by the military. They're going to be taken for a few months away, and then they're going to be brought back out. What for? Because those individuals are going to be the ones that's going to turn against the people who never got the JAB. So it's going to cause a civil war within the United States. Okay? Expect protests in different parts of the United States of America because it's going to take place. All right? The country is under judgment. Nemesis is burning up things, and you guys are going to continue to keep feeling heat waves and things of that nature because Nemesis is also bringing down the judgment. So the sun is acting up even more S-class solar flares. More solar flares. Now, I told you guys the last time I spoke to you that all the dragons woke up. Now, you have a problem with that because now you have volcanoes going off. Left and right. All across the planet. And now you have volcanoes going off. But you also have to be concerned about the earthquakes. What appears to be earthquakes. Those are those dragons that have woken up. Now, dragons are master cloakers. But I'm going to make you guys aware, you guys are going to start paying attention to the shapes of clouds in your skies because you're really going to start seeing them heavy in the skies. Okay? You're going to start really seeing them heavy in the skies. Another thing that I want you to be aware of is that the ancestors of Tamari has been released in the Americas. What do you mean? What I mean when I say released? Over the past couple of days, some of you guys may have been feeling energy of spirits around you. Those are your ancestors. And I'm not talking about the ancestors from, let's say, the time that we were colonized. I'm talking about the ancestors that were still on these lands before we were ever colonized. I'm talking about the ancient ancestors. I'm talking about the Atlanteans. I'm talking about the Syrians that are on this land. I'm talking about the Limers that are on this land. I'm talking about various different ones from the old world that have been released. And I'm going to tell y'all something. Retribution is coming to the United States. And those who colonized it. Retribution is on its way. Now, on one hand, you can look at that and celebrate that. On another hand, it's going to be a little hectic. You guys can count the things being done status quo like they used to be. That's done. That's not happening. Gemini said yes. Basically, yes. Yes. Everything that you was told was fairy tale is actually real. Okay? It's time for everybody to begin to start waking up. Is it you need to talk to them if they pulled up? I'm going to tell you some of the ones that pulled up on me that blew my wig back. I felt the energy of the ancestors, and I said, there's some ancestors up in here. I don't who are the ancestors? It was Lyrans that pulled up on me. And I said, wait a minute. Lyrans? I said, you from the old world? They was like, yeah. I said, oh, wow. Okay, so I got Lyrans in the bloodline that pulled up on me from the old world. Blew my wig all the way back. It's definitely heating up. Yes, I'm in Virginia, and there is way too many active battlefields around me. I see why I've been feeling that. Been seeing rainbows when I close my eyes recently. And what did I tell you that the rainbows represent? The rainbows represent that their time is up. Okay? The Creator has already made that call. The Creator is already sending out work. The Creator is already putting originals to work. The Creator's already got these Anunnaki at work. And all kinds of different beings at work. When I tell y'all it's going down, it's going down. And ain't no playtime. There's no time for the playtime no more. Judgment is hitting everybody right now. You guys better start paying attention to some of your big boys too. Some of these folks are going down behind the scenes and y'all don't even know what's going on. Now I'm going to give you some information that I need you guys to be aware of. And shouts out also to Cartier Vision. Shout out to him. He had mentioned to me that he had seen some things as well in terms of things to come. And one of the things he mentioned to me was that there's going to be a lot of distractions that's going to be taking place. There's going to be a lot of people getting exposed, which I was aware of this already. But it's the level and how it's coming that you guys need to be concerned about. Okay? It's the level of how it's coming that you guys need to be concerned about. You're welcome. It's the way that distractions are going to come in that you guys need to be concerned about. The way that the distractions are coming in. I want you guys to listen to me carefully. For those of you who have been doing your healing, this is you transitioning out. This is the split. Your key to success of surviving this split is do not get caught up in any distractions. You're going to hear celebrities coming out of nowhere. That's going to be exposed. It's going to be shocking news. However, when you hear this information, make sure you look the opposite direction to see what they're doing over here. Because while they're distracting you with that, the military is putting up bases, camps inside the United States. And you need to be careful about those. For those of you who've got that JAB, y'all better be very, very careful. Because I'm going to activate something within you. That what you receive is designed to make you what we call a sleeper cell. So, let me put you guys up on game. Because see, I'm at the stage now where I don't care no more. Because I ain't going to be doing this. I ain't going to be doing too much of this much longer. So I'm already at that stage where I'm already graduating to other things. I'm on my own damn mission. Okay, I'm on my own mission right now. So that's why you guys ain't really seen me as much as you used to see me, because I got other work and stuff like that I have to do. I have other responsibilities that I have to handle. But what I will say to you guys is that I want you guys to keep your head on a swivel this year. This year, you don't have no choice but to do it. Why? Because these distractions, if you're not careful, can take you down a couple of dimensions or timelines. Do not get caught up in the distractions. If you're going to have to turn your phone off, then you're going to have to turn your phone off. If you're going to have to check completely out, then check completely out. But I'm letting you know, soon, very, very soon, there's going to be a lot of exposure, a lot of things coming to light, a lot of things are going to be exposed, a lot of celebrities are going to be exposed. You're going to be shocked at some of the things that you're going to hear. You may even see some things you don't want to see. Okay? Don't allow these distractions. Don't allow yourself to get caught up. This is going to be one of your biggest and greatest tests for those of you that plan on making this split. Now, there are some things I would like to expose, but there's some things I can't talk about because they're always getting at me. But what I will say to you is that be mindful of the people who got the JAB. They're going to activate something within those people. And what you're going to notice is watch the attitudes of the people when they find out you did not get that JAB. Watch the attitudes of the people. Keep your mouth closed. If you didn't get it, keep your mouth closed unless you want to fight. Because that's how it's designed, to wake to activate the sleeper cell within them and have those individuals acting out of their damn minds, because those people intentionally took an experimental drug, and they told you it was experimental, and they didn't listen. And they thought they knew what was best. Well, I'm telling y'all, be careful of the individuals who's gotten that JAB. You may even start seeing them act weird now. Watch them. You better be careful, and you better be navigating. And if I were you, I definitely wouldn't let no military know that you got that. But they got a list of people who already got it. You better learn how to navigate. Now, yes, the nanotechnology, that is correct. And that was what was placed inside of everybody when they got that. It was nanotechnology. Okay? Now, here's what I'm going to tell you how I can assist you. And you're going to have to pick up what I'm putting down, because I can assist those individuals. But there's only so much I can say. Log on to IsisWisdom.com. Come see me. Log on to IsisWisdom.com. Pick up what I'm putting down. That's all I'm going to say. For those of you watching this site and you know you got that thing, log on to IsisWisdom.com and come see me. That's all I'm going to say. Take it or leave it. You're fine if you just got sick with that only. They're only looking for the individuals who actually got the actual thing. New York City is full of people who took it. And yes, and New York City is Gotham City. And you're going to see what time it is. No, I'm not closing my page. My website's still going to be running? Hell no. Why would I close my website, Nemesis? I help a lot of people through that website. Hell no. I said in a couple years, I won't be doing all these lives and things like that, because I'm going to be on mission. I'm not going to have time for that. There's going to be I'm still going to have a presence. It's just not going to be on social media. Y'all can get an invite to my Discord though, if you want to keep up with me. I shut down the Telegram. I got rid of that. Now the Discord is being revamped. I'm talking about YouTube, Instagram, things like that, baby. That's what I'm talking about. There's no point to you panicking. Why would you panic? There's no point to you panicking. There's no need for you to panic. When would you encourage to stock up on for what's about to come? See, Shamash Light, I've been telling you guys to do this for the past 3 years. And now here we are. So if you're asking me, do you have any time left? No, there's no time left. Trump just attacked Iran. Do you think there's any time left? Let's use some common sense, logic, and deductive reasoning. Trump just attacked Iran. It's all over the news. Do you think you have time like that? Ledeye, yeah, it's going to keep playing out, but war is war. That's going to play out too. Okay, Zanumba says, what should we do? I can't tell you how to think for yourself. You have to use your brain and trust yourself in terms of what you think you should do to move. But here's what I'll tell you. If you see a moving Mack truck, are you going to cross the street while the truck is moving? How would you navigate that? This is about you learning how to navigate. If I was Iran, and I was going to send out an attack on U.S. soil, I'm knocking out the power grid right off the rip. And they do have the EMPs to do that. If I was Iran, I would knock out the power grid of the United States. Why? Because the United States runs on that. Folks can't live without their cell phones. I knocked the power grid out. The power grid, towers, knock them all out. Just that alone is going to have y'all panicking and flipping the hell out. Because if you ain't got access to no electricity, you ain't got access to no food. You ain't got access to a phone to call nobody because you're dependent on a cell phone. I suggest you guys get some walkie talkies. Definitely get out of the bigger cities because they're definitely going to be, those are population centers, they're going to be targeted. But if I was them, I would just put the EMP out. I'm just telling y'all how I would do it. You know what I'm saying? I would just send a couple EMPs out and knock the whole grid offline. And see how the people deal with that. Because if you ain't got no power, how are you guys going to survive? Unless you're one of those people that know how to survive off the grid, those people are going to be fine. But if you're one of those individuals that has been depending on the government to take care of you, has been depending on everything that you have, and you've been depending on these things, and you don't know what it's like not to live with these things, you're going to have a hard time. If you don't know how to live off the land, you're going to have a hard time. If you don't know how to grow your own gardens, you're going to have a hard time. I put this information out to you guys for the last 2 years. There isn't going to be no nuclear attack. Y'all can get that because the angels ain't going to let that happen. So y'all can just get that out your head. There isn't ever going to be a nuclear weapon that's going to be launched inside the United States without those Anunnaki shutting that down. Be clear, they don't have control over this planet in the way that you think. For far too long, the people have given too much power to everything outside of themselves. Y'all got to start thinking from a whole different mindset. There ain't going to be no nuclear war. There will never be another nuclear war on this planet. What they're working with is all they can work with. Back to nature, and that's what you should be doing. Moves to real. Boom. So, okay, Sunshade 7 said, think about satellite phones also, family. Magneto, wholeness. Essentially, they will, but we don't know when that's going to be at Action Jack. For those of you who have a problem being alone, you may have a hard time too. But see, Mrs. BC to you, what I'm going to say to you is this, and I want you to listen to me carefully. Do you think that it's wise to be alone at this time? Or do you think it's wise to mobilize with a set of team and a group of people? That cognitive dissonance is still setting inside you guys' mind where you guys are not fully understanding the ramifications of what could take place inside the United States of America. It is going to require the collective to come together as the collective and learn how to work together. If you have a mindset that you're going to do these things by yourself, you are sadly mistaken and you're going to be fooled and you're going to hurt yourself. You cannot survive in a land without electricity by yourself. It's going to require people to come together and work together. Be clear about what I'm saying here. Let me tell you something. I got a feeling there's going to be some information that's going to come out about the original people of these lands, or the truth is going to be told, and that won't no longer be relevant anymore because the status automatically returns back to the original people of Tamari. And the original people of Tamari are the Aborigines or the Aboriginals. Okay? The originals. Period. There's a lot of draconians and reptiles where I live. What would you advise? Move. It's common sense. Alliances are more important now than ever. That is correct. And that is the message that I want to get out to every single last one of you guys, is about your alliances. Absolutely 1000%. I still don't have a drive, but I hope I can find one in need when I do. Okay. So what you're saying is I need to save the seeds from this watermelon that I'm currently snacking on. Got it. That would be wise. Now, I want you guys to understand something. By Donald Trump making the move that he's done, he's in a whole lot of trouble right now. That's not just from those things that he's done, it's from other various things that he's done. He's in a whole lot of trouble right now. This man ain't even been in the office a good, 6 months? And all hell's breaking loose, and this man ain't been in the office a good 6 months. Now, here's what I'm going to say, and I want you guys to listen to me very carefully. There is going to be, quote unquote, a mass exodus outside of the United States. But the people that are going to be leaving outside the United States are going to be the individuals that are operating at a low vibrational frequency. These are individuals that still want to practice racism. These are people that want to continue to keep that old status machine going. They'll be leaving outside the United States soon because there won't be a place for them. You guys are going to see a lot of stuff. You're going to see brother moving against brother, sister moving against sister. You're going to see law enforcement moving against law enforcement. You're going to see all types of stuff going on. Okay? There's a lot of things that are coming to the forefront that is being exposed. Why? Because judgment is here. So whatever's been hidden in the dark is now going to come to the light. It's going to be hard to actually trust people, though, who don't know who an agent or a sleeper cell is. Well, you're going to have that conversation with individuals to find out who got that JEB. Survival is the name of the game, but don't forget that as this world gets taken apart, the frequency will increase, your abilities will activate. That is correct, and it's going to activate because of Nemesis. Nemesis is going to be activating the originals, okay? A lot of people are going to get activated. Well, I have absolutely nobody. I just got this place from domestic violence, shaking my head. Damn. Sometimes you have to be alone until you get to others. I definitely have a tribe, but to see who may take time. Yes, you're going to see it just by actions of the people. Okay, I'll save it at LINBTNN. I'll save it for you. The Haiti Empire shall be restored here in America. I'm saving it. Trump already told and claimed we were legally indigenous people, just not looking. Well, of course. We are the originals. Spiritual leaders all have their own narrative, don't know what to believe. Well, I don't have a narrative. I mean, I'm not the one who sat out there and blew up through the 3 nuclear facilities in Iran. That ain't got shit to do with me. That's number one. Number two, don't ever put me in the category of a spiritual leader because I'm not that. I get tired of people putting these titles and things like that, especially those who do not know me and who haven't spent time, who hasn't learned anything about my work. I've told you guys many times before, I'm not your leader. I'm not your spiritual leader. I'm here to guide and assist. That is it. I give you the information. You guys chew with the information what you want and go about your business. If it doesn't resonate, then it doesn't resonate. And that's okay with me as well. But agenda, what do I gain from that? Ain't no original gaining nothing from this war. Ain't no original gaining nothing from this country. They said that people who didn't get the jab also have nanoparticles. Would they get snatched to via chemtrails and mysterious fog and water? They're only looking for the ones that have the jabs. That's it. There is liberation taking place on the planet even as we speak. That is correct. I've seen in California they was putting vaccines in the food. They've been putting vaccines in the food all throughout the United States of America, guys. I want you guys, I see you, fam. I want you guys to understand that you have evil, nefarious forces that have been controlling the entertainment business, sports, Hollywood, politics. And some of these evil individuals have a whole lot of power because you guys have yet to understand that the ancient ones never went anywhere. The ancient ones are still here. Now, you want me to share how deep the rabbit hole goes? How deep the rabbit hole goes with that? Let me explain something to y'all. There are people on this planet that have the ability to jump from body to body. The technology of the sleeves, cloning, and the sleeves is not anything new. Transhumanism is not anything new. I want you guys to understand that this is something that's been going on for a very long time, much older than the United States itself. I want you guys to understand this. So yes, do they have the capabilities of taking you out or transferring your consciousness into another human sleeve? Yes, they do. This is the reason why I said to you that the ancient ones never left. Now, this may sound like something out of a sci-fi movie, but rest assured, where do you think these directors and these producers get their information from to share these types of stories and make these types of films? They get those stories from the stories of the originals and those who have been reincarnating since the beginning of the beginning. That's why we always say there's nothing new under the sun. That is correct. If you're not grounded, you can't tap into the knowledge. You have to be grounded in order. It's not that you can't tap into it. It's that you got to be grounded enough to process the information that you're receiving. Because if you're not grounded enough, that thing could take you out of here. Thank you, Martha Martinez. I appreciate it. Consciousness transfer. That's right, Cartier Vision. That is correct. Consciousness transfer. Yellowwood says, now you know damn well I was waiting. You was waiting? So the pits of Lazarus are real. There's so much that is very real that you guys don't even have a clue as to what's real. Here's the deal with that, though. You got to first understand. Imagine having a bunch of ancient texts that told stories that took place from different time periods and different timelines. Or a chain of events that took place from different time periods and different timelines or different dimensions. And you take some of the biggest stories and you pull information, let's say, from the Torah, the ancient Egyptian Book of the Dead, some from the Judeo teachings, some from Islamic teachings, some from angelic teachings, some from all these different various teachings. And then what you do is you put it together and you invert the information and you create a book and tell everybody that this one particular religious book or different religious books are all split with all of that information compiled in various different religious texts. One in particular is popular, but it's very inverted. It's called the Bible. Lucifer was who put the Bible together. Lucifer is who controlled religions. You guys have no idea how diabolical this angel really is. Her husband, Satan, was also the muscle. Lucifer was the brains. If I was to tell you how deep this rabbit hole, the shit that I know is shit that's hidden in the Vatican that you can't even get access to. You see, I understood early on in the game that I wasn't going to play that limitation games by going to books and things outside of me. I understood that early in the game. I understood who I am and that I got to go inward to get my answers. Because if you were to externalize your power and say, well, what book is this? What book did you get it from this and this, that, and the third? This is how they control you. Because you're utilizing their shit to prove a point. When in fact, you are a plethora of knowledge. You are a whole living library of knowledge. You just don't know the story about yourself and experiences that you've been through to say what's what and what's not. But if you was really to sit down and really start getting on that journey to self-discovery and learning more about yourself and healing those parts of yourself so that stuff can get out of the way so you can open up room for you to get to know who you are, you would begin to start learning more about the things that I speak of because you have your own stories to tell. You're just telling the story from a different angle, but you was there when it went down. Each one of us are walking Akashic record. Boom! Cartier, I see you, fam. What I notice is that what I think I manifest rapidly. That's because that's the time we're in. I want you guys to understand the Earth right now is currently operating in the 8th dimension. It is in the 8th dimension. So all the talk about the 5D, the 5D, the 5D, Earth is in the 8th dimension and rising up higher and higher. Why? Because the originals and the collective said that they wanted to heal. So in spite of all the distractions that you see that are taking place, just remember, old systems have to be torn down so new can be created. Now, you guys said that you want this matrix to fall. Well, it's falling. There's going to be a lot of rebuilding that's going to take place within inside of the United States. It has to. It has to fall. The structure and what they built everything upon has to fall. He let them rule for 6,000 years. That's biblical text, baby. And they've been ruling for longer than 6,000 years, honey. Now, when you start talking, if you're talking about Caucasians, baby, they only been around for 800 years. So who's the 6,000? And this goes back to what I'm saying about the text and how distorted it is and how they pulled information from various different books. Some of you guys are going to be locked into that, and it was designed to lock you into that programming. It was designed to keep you confused from knowing the truth. You see, when the so-called Messiah returns, it isn't going to be a man that returns as a Messiah. It's going to be a woman. Because it was always a woman from the very beginning. It was never a man. So when you start talking about Christ consciousness, you're talking about Christo consciousness. That's what we're talking about here. Crystalline consciousness. They inverted everything and try to take the woman out the picture on everything. You guys have no idea how many politicians, how many people that are out here that are famous that are actually women, how many presidents and prime ministers that are actually women and not men playing in the role of men. Blow your wig back. That's been going on. Because what you're going to find out is, and it's some deep shit, what you're going to find out is, and I've been telling you all this from the very beginning, this planet has always been a divine feminine planet. It always has been. But you can have goddesses out here that are war goddesses and also war generals. But see, you didn't pay attention to those stories because you were taught patriarchy. You were taught to believe that women are less than. There's a lot of stuff that's going on. And there's a lot of stuff that's being exposed. They told you what time it was with the Obama situation. How they invert. How his wife is inverted. And those are whole Draconians right there. Both of them are alpha Draconians. The Queen of England, alpha Draconian. They're all them Draconians. And truth be told, those who had, those who actually were the original royalty over there before the Queen took over were the Moors. But here's the gag. The Moors also participated in the Queen taking over the position as Queen, knowing damn well she was a Draconian. They did a deal. Now, I'm gonna go into some more shit concerning these Moors because I had found out some information that blew my damn wig back so far, fam. I couldn't even, I had to pick my wig back up. I had to pick it back up. The shit went out the window. Okay? There may have been some stories that you may have heard about the first 8 black presidents. The first president of America was a Moor by the name of John Hanson. Now, you had a bunch of Caucasians coming out trying to debunk the shit. That was to keep us from knowing the truth. John Hanson. Then there were several presidents after him. Abraham Lincoln was also a Moor. George Washington was also a Moor. Every president of the United States of America that ever existed up until the 1940s were Moors. Did y'all know that? You didn't hear what I said. Action Jack, you're not hearing me. You didn't hear what I said. But I'm not going to repeat myself, but you didn't hear me. They were all Moors. Because you guys have yet to understand that the first colonization that ever took place over to Mary against the originals were by the Moors. The Moors are the fallen Anunnaki and or Elohim. Elohim means fallen. We know what you were told it meant. But you need to know the difference between Elohim and Elohai. They're not the same thing. Anytime you hear the word seraphim, fallen. Seraphi, not fallen. Tamari was colonized by the Moors. And make sure you are clear. And I'm about to hit y'all shit with, I'm about to blow your damn wig back when y'all hear what I got to say about this shit here. Now that you understand that the Moors are the fallen Anunnaki, Anunnaki also angels, fallen angels. I also want you to understand they come in different species. I had a conversation with a dragon that is a damn Moor. Blew my shit out the window. When I spoke to this dragon, I said, are you a Moor? Yes, I am. I said, you know I'm looking crazy right now, right? I said, you know I got my jaws on the floor. I said, you don't have to make it make sense. He proceeds to tell me that the Moors are all different types of species of beings. So yes, dragons also can be Moors, fallen angels, and that would be correct. Because in the angelic realm, you have angelic dragons. I know that for a fact. So when they fall, guess what? Moors are nefarious and or malevolent toward the originals and always have been. This is how Rome was able to infiltrate Egypt because the Moors were running Rome first. So when Egypt got infiltrated, it was the Moors who infiltrated Egypt. the fallen angels. And they used the color game so very well because they knew that our people were hung up on the wrong things based upon perception. And they still fall for the trick to this day. Cannot tell the difference between a fallen angel, a Moor, and an original. You cannot tell the difference. Now, how would you recognize it? Within our community. Because we go to war with each other 24/7, 7 days a week. We're always warring against each other. Some of that is also traveled within the bloodline, but some of that also is still the battles between the angels and the Moors to this day. The Moors also took the time out to infiltrate, the originals, and started claiming our original indigenous rights and inheritances. So when they start speaking about saying that the Cherokee, the Yamasee, and all these different tribes of the American Indians were part of the Moors, that is incorrect information. That is also manipulation. No, in-those bloodline has nothing to do with that. Thank you, baby. Nature does give us everything that is connect. I ain't got nothing to do with that, and I don't speak on other people's work, and I don't pay attention to other people either. So I couldn't speak on that Phoenix 133. I don't know what's going on. I don't pay attention. I don't watch. I don't pay attention. I don't know what's going on. So I had to drop that science and that knowledge on you guys because it's more. As these truths are coming out, I'm gonna start dropping bombs on y'all, just hitting y'all with the bombs like boom, boom. No, y'all need to know. Y'all need to know about this. Y'all need to know about that. This, that, and the third. That ain't even what that is either. This is that. You know what I'm saying? Bomb after bomb after bomb after bomb. Thank you very much. I appreciate it. I appreciate you guys for coming on live tonight to support me to get these messages out there. I really do appreciate you for this. Natural intelligence versus artificial intelligence. Boom. They never brought this up. Of course not. Who's going to tell on themselves? Sophia is another source goddess. She is the sister to Asheray. I remember you said Trump winning election was the better timeline. I still believe it, to be honest. Well, it would have been, either way you look at it, yes, I'm saving it, baby. You just got in, it's okay. Sophia created the story of the Matrix. She didn't create the Matrix. The Matrix was created by the Most High, baby. Yes, Black Devil documentary is coming soon. That is correct, Ahmad Moore. That is correct. Okay, there is a total of seven source beings. Asheray being the first because she was divine feminine, and then she created everything after her. Okay? So yeah, she did create the divine masculine, her husband, Olodumare, who was also the Most High. But Asheray also have brothers. Sophia is also her sister. So there's 7 source gods. Okay? And then there's the children of the source gods. And I want you guys to understand something. You have a lot of these alphabet agencies that's been running around trying to find out who the descendants are of these beings, trying to take them out left and right. Why? Why do you think that's happening? Why are they so concerned about the originals? They're concerned about the originals because they know when the originals come online, it's all over with. And there's quite a few of us online. Quite a few. There is no stopping an original. When the original is fully online, you're talking about, y'all better start looking at Avengers. Y'all better start looking at X-Men. Where do you think they got these stories from? Everything is going to be saved. So I said 800 years at Dimitri's Truth. I said 800 years, baby. 800 years. I never said 600. I said 800 years. Do you think a Palladian is a Caucasian at Dimitri's Truth? When you say, so what's up with that? Or do you think they're Caucasians? Do you think a European is the same thing as a Caucasian? You see how you see these color games y'all like to play? You don't even know the differences between a European and a Caucasian. And then you're bringing up about these Nordic aliens, and then you're bringing up about these Palladians. Do you think all Palladians have white skin tone? Or do you think Palladians is a variety of different species of beings? Do humans all have one skin tone? Or do humans look very different in nature? When you look at a Chinese person, or you look at somebody from Korea, or you look at somebody from Russia, or you look at somebody from Africa, depending on what part of the continent of Africa, or if you look at the Arabs, etc., etc., etc. I'm going to need you to expand your mind, baby. Come see me, Shamash Light. Make sure when you guys get a chance, you log on to my website, isiswisdom.com. Lilith, who's not who you think she is, I'm going to tell y'all something. Y'all sisters got that shit all the way twisted up about Lilith. Y'all got the game twisted up about Lilith because you think you know, but you do not know what you speak of when you speak about Lilith. Y'all got that whole shit all the way twisted up. And you got a lot of women out here that are putting information out there that's completely 1,000% untrue. And that is not an entity that you play with. Lilith is a part of Council of Nine on the malevolent side in terms of goddesses. I want you to be clear. Lucifer has a twin sister. Lucifer is the morning star, and her sister is the evening dawn. I have not had a chance to check into Abraxas as of yet. I've never heard this deity before. That's new to me. I heard 607 talk about Abraxas. I don't know who Abraxas is. Hecate is also a part of the Council of Nine and a very powerful triple moon goddess. And she's not white. As much as Caucasians love her, she's not white. You got to go inward to get your information to Mrs. Spearman. I spoke about this earlier. Thank you. Where does our conscious information come from if our brain is a receiver? Your aspects. The various different reincarnated versions of who you are. Okay, I can see some of you guys are new. Ashere, A-S-H-E-R-A-E. We are the sleeping gods. That is correct. King Feathers Up, what's going on? Marvel, boom. I heard the word crisis, something up in New York City. I don't know what's going on in New York, Ma. I ain't tapped in yet. You tell me what's going on. Go pull up the news sites and tell me what's going on, Ma. Okay, the alkaline fine vegan. Now, there you go again, giving credit to something outside of yourself. The sun is only an activator of that. The consciousness doesn't come from the sun. The consciousness comes from you from within. Do you have any idea how ancient and how old you are and how many times you reincarnated all throughout the cosmos? Do you have any idea? Come see me and get a cosmic reading and I'll tell you who you are. And the various different versions of who you are. Y'all got to stop giving all this power outside of yourself because that's what's messing y'all up in the first place. Why do you guys keep thinking that Enlil and Enki ties into the original ones in our karma? Why do y'all keep thinking that? So let me give you the rundown about that family. First of all, you guys got to understand from this perspective. You have the first cosmic family. That would be Olodumare, Ashere, the kids, the whole nine, all the way down the line. Then you have the first royal Anunnaki family. Anu's wife, her name is Leela. They distorted that information and put a mistress in place of the name as she was never the ruler and never his wife. Leela has always been Anu's wife. And her children are Enlil and Enki. And the stories that you were told about him, all that shit's distorted. And there are other brothers besides those two that you guys don't know anything about. Sema Anu, who was very malevolent, who went against Anu, his own father and his own family. Then there's Jabril, who also went against the Anunnaki family. Then there was the Empress, who went against the Anunnaki family, and her whole plight was to take down the whole Anunnaki family. So I want you guys to understand, because I know you've never heard it told like this before. This is why I don't get into regurgitating information everybody else out here has said, because I got to go inward. I go inward to get my answers. This is the reason why I keep telling y'all, I respect my elders, but they open up the door for me to go and explore and go inward on my own to get the information and continue to keep passing the torch. You see, back then, that was during the age of Pisces. We're now in the age of Aquarius. What does that mean? The age of Aquarius is when all things are hidden is coming to the light. In the age of Aquarius, this is when you become more spiritual. In the age of Aquarius, you're tapping into your first eye. In the age of Aquarius, you're going inward to get your answers. You're never going outward to get any answers. I don't know nothing about no Council of 8. I told you Council of 9. I don't know what you're talking about. Oh, okay, you did say 9. 3 malevolent goddesses. 3 benevolent. 3 neutral. Okay? And they are the daughters of Ashere. So I want you guys to understand, when Ashere began her creations, the first thing that she created was the goddesses. Goddesses were here long before the divine masculine was even created or conceived or even thought about or even talked about. Okay? The same thing with the mother of the angels. The supreme ruler, Archangel Michael. She created, when she first started creating all the angels, it was divine feminine, the feminine angelics first. Then she created the male angelics. Now, here's something that's really going to blow your wig back. When you come into an understanding of how Source operates, when you start talking about dealing with duality and balance, you begin to start understanding that malevolent beings were also created by Source to bring the balance. Lucifer was created to bring the balance to the cosmos, because she not only affected the earth, she infected the whole cosmos. She is, instead of calling her the light bearer, she should never have been called the light bearer, in my opinion. Lucifer is the lesson teacher. She is the one that teaches lessons. And she's been doing that since the beginning. She is a master inverter. Satan is a master inverter. You guys got to understand that you lived on a planet where they inverted the ley lines, causing the planet to look the way that it looks to this day. They inverted the matrix. Why was that done? So evil could rule over the planet. In other words, these beings were created to be nefarious, to be evil, to be what you perceive. They are created to be that way by Source. Every single living being has its purpose, and that is to bring the balance. Well, if Iran threatens to strike New York City, it is what it is. Listen to how you sound. Someone said, isn't Lilith Lucifer's wife, when I sat up here and told you that Lucifer is a female? Lilith is the wife to Samael, always has been. That is her twin, Flame. Satan is the husband to Lucifer. See, that's why I keep telling y'all that the books were inverted. Lucifer is a feminine. Yes, she is. I'm sorry y'all didn't know that. But she's the one that's been running this whole shit from the very beginning. No, Tiamat is not connected with Lucifer. Tiamat is the ruler of the dragons. Lucifer stole that from Archangel Michelle. Someone said, so what about music? Is Lucifer the ruler of that? No. She's not the ruler of that. To cause confusion. Okay, Empress Sand says, so why they make it seem like Lucifer and Satan is one person? It's called distortion. By keeping you confused, you'll never find out the true story the way I'm explaining it to you now. Just like you guys said that y'all thought that Zeus was Lucifer, which I thought that was absolutely funny because Zeus is a whole dragon. Now, I bet you never heard that shit before. Never heard that shit before, did you? So y'all not ready. Y'all not ready. Let me break some stuff down to y'all. Hera is the dragon. Hades is the dragon. All the Greek gods, the dragons. Y'all didn't know that, did you? Yeah, y'all didn't know that. Satan doesn't give any trial. That belongs to the supreme ruler who brings down the judgment. Satan is the enforcer of the invertedness. He is the enforcer. Lucifer was the mastermind in the brains. And let me tell you something. The information I've been getting from my aspects and my higher self about her, and the stuff I started learning about her and how deep that rabbit hole goes, there's some shit I can never tell y'all. But the stuff that I've learned about her and how her mind works, I'll say this to y'all. This is going to sound crazy, but I'm going to say this to y'all. Her mind is brilliant. Her mind is brilliant. The way she thought everything through and planned everything meticulously, her mind was brilliant. And wherever she messed up at, her sister came behind her and did it better. Her sister just wasn't as powerful as Lucifer. Her sister's powerful, but not as powerful as Lucifer. All the pantheons are not dragon. That is correct. That's why I tell people that's an entity that you do not play with. You got to really be on your, to have a conversation, even to have a conversation with that entity, you have to really truly know yourself. Know who you are. You can't go into this shit with fear. That's not for the weak at heart. But when you know who you are and there's no fear, and you know who you are and they know that you know who you are, it's a whole different ball game. Especially when you're an original. It's a whole different ball game. That's the power that I teach my people to step into. Not fear, but to step into who they truly are. That is why we live in the life of duality. Boom, that is right, Nancy Honorado. TGT, what up, what up? Action Jack. I think that's really funny. He says, you are also an entity in this battle. I'll never tell. Shamash Light 333 says, when activated, what can one expect? Each person's experience is going to be totally different. It's not going to be the same. Yeah, wigs going to start flying like the Red Bull commercial. Shamanic alchemist. You crazy, bro. I want to touch on a couple things here because I'm gonna tell y'all something about these karmic cycles, and I just really wish y'all. I just hope that y'all can really pick up what I'm putting down on this live right now. I see a lot of people living in karmic cycles. And I see them just doing the same thing over and over and over and over and over again. There are also people that are very powerful in their own right, and they don't know because they've been sleeping, and they don't even know that their parents were their handlers, or who their parents even really are. There are some of you out here that are truly originals, where the powers that be, quote unquote, already knew who you were when you were born. They place handlers around you. and you didn't even know it. You see, your stories go a lot deeper than what you realize. But you're too busy being distracted out here by all the things outside of you instead of you taking the time out to get into that self-discovery journey. And yes, it does require you to heal. You know, people ask me, Isis, what makes my healing journey any different than everybody else's healing journey? When I'm on mission. When it comes to you getting on mission. If you are not healed enough, you won't be able to handle the missions that Source gives to you. You'll fail them. If you haven't healed that ego, if you ain't healed that mother wound, if you ain't healed that father wound, if you ain't healed those other wounds, if you ain't healed that sexual trauma, if you ain't healed that physical abuse, if you ain't healed that verbal abuse, if you haven't healed that inner child, you are in no position to handle what it requires to deal with the missions that Source has for you, because it ain't for the play. You guys want to get out here and you want to romanticize this shit. Oh, I want to get on my powers. For what? And then what? With your unhealed ass? What you gonna do next? What kind of havoc are you gonna bring on the planet next? What kind of havoc are you going to bring on this planet? Promoting war programming again? Thinking that you need to go out here and you need to go to war against whomever and whatever, not understanding fully what you're even up against or what you're even dealing with? There's levels to this shit when it comes to healing. There's levels to it. And if you guys are talking about getting on your role as far as what Source has for you to do, you need to understand there's levels to your healing. There's levels to your elevation. And some of you niggas want to skip steps. You don't want to work for what you're supposed to receive. Or your version of work is not on the level that it needs to be because your ego is still driving you out here. And when a person's ego is in the forefront, they'll jeopardize the mission. They'll jeopardize their entire team. Do you really think that unhealed people can handle all the crazy shit that's going on right now? '99 Finest Cosmic Reading. If you want to find out who you are, Cosmic Reading, IsisWisdom.com. It's in my bio as well. The link is right on the Telegram. Okay, at a very young age, I started to destroy all authority not related to nature. I was against this system from birth. That's dope. Selfless service is one of the values. Boom. Sun Sage 7. I see you, fam. I see you. Well, Axel Jack said, I always had a problem with school. Yeah, the way they taught school wasn't really it. That wasn't really it. Because they try to focus everything and cram everything into the left brain, which is memorization, but they didn't want to have you tapping into your right brain, which is where your creativity comes from. And so they want to say, oh, well, you're going to teach me algebra like this, but the way you're teaching it, I'm not resonating with that. Now bring it over here to the right brain and I could do it all day, but the way you're teaching it is a no. You know they purposely did that shit on purpose? Because they knew that the originals were right-brained and also they're in their creative space. They knew there wasn't nothing that couldn't stop us, but this damn raggedy-ass school system that they built, inverted school system, was classifying originals as, oh, you're a sped, oh, you're this, oh, you got hyper this, oh, you have ADHD, or you have this, you have that. Anything to try to keep us down, and then do this big praise thing when one of us would do well and our IQ would be high, so to speak, and they would just do this thing where one person stands out, which is a bunch of bullshit, to keep them living superior and trying to make us inferior, knowing goddamn well that the only reason why that there even existence and have power in the first place is because of us. Now, for those of you that are listening, that are putting up what I'm putting down, that are picking up what I'm putting down, because some things I can't say. But let me tell you something. The energy of the originals has been harvested inside this country. And that is the only reason why these son of a bitches have been in power for as long as they've been. Them days are over. The original, the power and the energy of the original is the strongest power on earth. Nabu kura kia ra kota nina de toko tanati chiki ndiri akatu kuna moku. Mareka tu kuna maka shiki de atire akotuno moka tiki de ata. Shuk shema makata kane akoto. Amo kuria hia shiria nana kotuna moku. Oru komoku tuna makati tiri akoto. Okura mokuona aka shikira kuno koma kutata kutu. I am activating you. So if you feel those tingling sensations, that's what's happening right now. I'm talking to that spirit inside your body. Shua karaka turoko ana karakia roku mukuroko. It's called light language. The language of the cosmos. The language of your ancient cosmic ancestors. Shaya karara kono kura makutia to kutaraka shiroko. Maya yarakataneko turuku namoko. Taking constructive criticism is better. Boom. I agree. Yes, you're getting chills because you're getting an activation. B Glory says, about to have me floating out my body. You funny as hell. Janter, I bet. You're welcome. I want to feature on the next light language track. I was in the middle of a movie when you went live. I stopped whatever I was doing when Isis Wisdom speaks. Boom! My entire head and heart is vibrating. That's because I am activating you. Just tuning in, sis. What have I missed? A whole lot. You're going to have to play a live back. Oh my God, I couldn't find you and I had to search you up. What do you mean? What is going on? Outsiders, I have no idea on why that happened to you like that. We did, yo. Stopped our YouTube doc. She needed glasses. Something inside me is talking back when you're speaking light language. Ah, that's your higher self. Speaking back. Ah, look at that. You just had me floating. Yeah, sometimes it doesn't notify people that you go online. I used to fake speak Spanish as a kid, and it sounded like that. I don't know what to tell you on that, baby. I don't know what fake Spanish sounds like. I was just notified 5 minutes ago that you were live. What? Listen, let me tell y'all something. When I tell you these fools don't want that information to get out, that I have to say, these fools don't want that information to get out. Okay, they have put a shadow ban campaign on the originals because they're trying to control. Okay, that's all they like to do is control. It doesn't stop the fact that this shit is falling. So they can go ahead and control all they want to control. But it doesn't stop the fact that the thing is falling. Your body feels floaty. Told your mom, remember what me and Cartier Vision saying about finding your page when you go live, so everyone make sure y'all turn on y'all notifications. Yeah, I see that now, but jeez, I don't know what's going on with these folk. I still faithfully follow you in TikTok. It's so clear what that app was created for now. Boom. I hear and feel growing when you speak that language. I know, baby. I know they can't stop the shift, but them delaying is annoying. Then again, why rush? Enjoy the ride. Boom. Now that's key thing right there. And I want to say this to you guys too. As you guys are healing, enjoy your journey of self-discovery. Okay? Now I'm gonna let you guys know I'm gonna start wearing crowns on my head more often. And there's a reason why that's being done. It's up to y'all to figure out. If y'all saw my previous picture I put up with me and my crown, my tiara on my head, that's just one of many. You see, I want you guys to remember something. Begin to start embodying who you know yourself to be. This is how you change your reality. This is one of the ways you step in to finding out the steps and the knowledge about how you are to become who you truly are, which is your higher self. If you don't even know who your higher self is, meaning your main higher self, if you don't know who your higher self is, I suggest you go into meditation and find out who that is, because that's who you are. Your higher self is your future self. Neocosmos. The return of the matriarch. Boom. Out of sight Z, and there it is. The throne has most definitely been claimed, Brother Raw. That is correct. Some of you are picking up what I'm putting down. I literally said I was going to put that crown up, and I'm going to see how many of y'all said those who know, know. If you know, you know. But that is correct. The divine matriarch has returned. Not the raw papers. Where y'all see that? I mean, I do have raw papers, but where y'all see that at? Where y'all see that at? Hey, you got me looking around the room like, damn, did I leave my shit out? I do got it, though. Bam. I do got it. Y'all some nosy fuckers. No, it wasn't. It wasn't in my hand. I wasn't holding that. Did I? Oh, shit. I was holding it. I mean, I did it just now to let y'all see. Yeah, but I was holding it before. I didn't know that. You know they was going to peek that. I didn't know I was holding it. Just that one time when I went to show people like, yeah, I got the raw papers. That's hilarious. I don't hide the fact that I'm a smoker. I don't hide that from nobody. I definitely smoke. I told y'all I do mushrooms too. I don't hide neither one of those. Shoot. They been peeped. That's crazy as hell. They said you was in flow state. Yes, I was. At least they're aware. Boom. Man, listen. I had to get those things off my chest today. Cause you ever had getting information and the shit just blows your wig back and you're just like, what? So now I'm looking at these Moors from a whole different perspective now. Like my whole perspective about them has changed completely in terms of what I perceive to be an actual Moor. I'm looking at everything weird now. You know what I'm saying? I'm just looking at everything like, okay, so are you one of them beings too? You know? But it's time for that information to come out. It's time for the truth to come out. Okay? Let me just say this one thing too. Aboriginal people, you never participated in enslaving other people. Originals. When it came to the story, when they tried to say that we enslaved the Caucasians first, no, we didn't. That was the Moors that did that because the Moors were the ones who brought them over on the ships over here, and they also created them. They did that. And then try to slide the story on over to us. We never participated in that. So it's time for those truths to come out. What they did to the prisoners of war is so diabolical and so horrendous that the amount of judgment and karma and retribution that's coming to these people, it's going to be out of control. And I'm going to tell you something else. The very same people that you've seen at the top, those are going to be the same ones that's going to be going into them jail cells. So while they're sitting up here building up all these prisons, I'm going to tell you who they're building them for. They're building them for them people. Well, because in the movie Maleficent, they said Moors. If you go back and you listen to it, they said it right in the movie. Now, I want to share this one thing. There's a massive wealth transfer that's taking place, but I'm going to put y'all on game about something. This is strictly spiritual. This has nothing to do with anything physical in terms of what their plans were and what they thought was going to happen. There is a massive wealth transfer that's coming to a lot of the people. There's going to be projects. There's going to be things that's going to be built. There's going to be things that's going to be reconstructed, but it's going to be all different. There isn't going to be any more president of the United States after Trump. Be clear. That is the end of the corporation. The end of it. Their time is up. Their contracts are up. It is over with for them. I just need you guys to navigate. Remember, the last live I did was called The Beginning of the End. That's funny at Blood of Raw, you said the end. There isn't going to be any more president after Donald Trump. That's done. Okay. They ought to remove the DC from the capital? Yes. That is correct. Denver is the new capital. Washington, D.C. is done. Very much aware of this. But it ain't going to be ran the way that you think. Not in the way that you think. The people don't realize that they are being microdosed a new political agenda. It's not going to make a damn bit of a difference. The system is falling. So whatever the agenda is, it doesn't matter. At Vlad, always go with your first mind and your gut. Don't ever use a real ID. I did a whole live about that. I ain't gonna talk about that again. I already talked about that. You gotta go to my YouTube where I talked about specifically that. It's in the title where I spoke about the real ID on my YouTube channel. Isis gets the first crystal castle. Boom! And my castle is crystal. Believe it or not. I see my castle, and it is crystal. Because the time is up. I respect the truth. The time is up. I need you to understand what's happening here on the American soil. The United States, as you know it, which is a corporation, which is nothing more than Washington, D.C., that did a contract with all 50 sovereign states. Their time is up. It's returning back to a sovereign nation. It has to. The time is up. That's why all this stuff is happening now and happening at a fast pace. The corporation is done. Remember, you can only have presidents over corporations. Remember that. When you hear the term executive orders, all that's corporational talk, beloved. Okay, now this is interesting. Someone said, "Ooh, I'm gonna touch on that too." Ooh. Okay, Flow Love Trust says, "Damn, I guess that recent SpaceX Starship exploding was a distraction as well, because it was out of nowhere, and that's because them fallen Anunnaki blew his shit up because he was trying to leave off the damn planet, because Elon got access to something that those fallen Anunnaki want, and he thought he could escape off planet with that starship. And when he caught himself trying to take off, those Anunnaki came and blew his shit up. I'm going to tell you what it was. That's what it was." The AI will be destroyed by Nemesis. That ain't going to go nowhere. If you're not fully online, you're not going to be able to handle no battle against the Alpha Draconian fam. I want you guys to understand these Draconians ain't nothing to play with. No. This is not from the inexperienced individuals who are acting out of emotion. What is your strategic plan? What type of training have you guys done? You're talking about dealing with galactic beings, so how are you going to defeat them? Yeah, you didn't know that, Flow Love Trust. I've been trying to tell y'all what's really going on. I'm trying to get y'all to pick up what I'm putting down. A couple days ago, there was a bunch of helicopters, jets, and planes flying to Washington, D.C. When I tapped into it, you guys think this shit's a game? They got their weak-ass military that cannot defeat none of these Anunnaki ships. None of these Anunnaki. It's like running circles around them. That are stationed in different areas across the United States right now. I told you, this is a galactic war. You keep thinking it's a game. Now, if you're watching the skies, you're seeing some of you are seeing a lot of ships in the skies. They're utilizing cloud technology. You need to start paying attention to the ones that's hovering over the Capitol right now in the White House. Pay attention to those clouds hovering because they're hiding and they're cloaking themselves. There's also a lot of Galactic Federation ships now that's very active because of the war that's taking place. And now they're super active because of the shit that Trump pulled. No Aboriginals have anything to do with that war. That was caused by the warmongers, the same goddamn people who wanted to take over this damn place, who thinks this land is theirs when it's not. That same bloodline, still causing war. Warmongers. Destruction. I'm trying to explain to you that time of that is almost up. Some things have to play itself out because you got to destroy the matrix system. So some things are going to be allowed to happen because the system has to go. But there's going to be a lot of rebuilding taking place in America. That is correct. That was my little thing that came up. My little, I get in my settings, this thing pops up and it freezes alive until I click cancel. I don't know why it does that. Let's see what you're talking about. Who is Trump really? An Alpha Draconian. He is an Alpha Draconian. And so were the Bushes. They were Alpha Draconians. So are the Obamas. They're Alpha Draconians. Oh, they glitched me out when I was dropping the science about those planes? A Draconian and a dragon is not one and the same. Oh, don't ever let a dragon hear you say that, because they'll be highly offended. Did you guys hear everything I said when I broke down what happened in D.C. with those planes and all that? Did y'all hear everything I said? Let me know if you heard what I said. Just the presidents, baby. Okay, some of you guys are saying no, you didn't hear. What I said was, when those planes took off and went to Washington, D.C., I said that was those Anunnaki ships and those Alpha Draconian ships that pulled up at the White House and pulled up on Trump. That's what I said. And they're still there. Oh, okay. So that's what's happening. Why are they glitching me out just because I'm telling people what it is? I mean, shit, I looked into it. That is correct. That is correct. The last video I posted on my YouTube channel was a month ago in the video section of the site, not the live section of the not the live section of the YouTube, but the video section of the YouTube is where I go and upload videos. Did what he said? Anything about Trump being gone? I hope you guys are listening. I hope you guys are really listening, because I never said anything about that man being gone. Yes, it's the same Trump from 2016 to 2020, but he does have clones. I'm not going back into Inky and Lil is, because I already explained this earlier in the live. You have to go back and re-listen to it again. So the ships come up from the water to hover over the skies. That is correct, because the water is space. Now you're starting to get it. Yeah, they're purposely doing me. They're purposely blocking me out. They don't want me to tell y'all, which I don't know why. I don't know why they don't want me to tell y'all what's going on. Yes, I told you this. The presidency will be replaced by a divine council. Elon was calling a lot of shots. He ain't doing it no more. He need to worry. He need to worry about how the hell he gonna get off this planet, honey. And he ain't going nowhere. It's not going to matter at Amber camera. It's not going to matter anymore. They're going to announce it themselves what time it is. Just relax. Yes, it does. Someone says the space look like what they exactly show us. Yes, it does. You see, you guys got to understand there are portals inside of the ocean. And those portals will take you to different galaxies. So when they're showing you stuff in space, they're showing you the stuff that's going on in the oceans and in the portals. Now, can you get to these other galaxies? Only if you have the key codes inside your body that will allow you to go to these other galaxies via the water. Space has always been the water. Always. So while you guys are looking up at the sky, listening to NASA, NASA's playing with y'all. NASA playing in your faces. You know there's going to be drafts from the military. Why are you asking me those questions when you already know the answer to that question? Of course. Okay, some of the people are saying that the glitch didn't work. That didn't happen with them. There's water right above it. That is correct. And the firmament is going to start opening soon. And you guys are going to start seeing other planetary bodies. Child, if the Draconians been revealing themselves, where the hell have you been at? It says, when do you think the Draconians will reveal themselves? The Draconians have always been revealing themselves. It's a matter of frequency in which you can see. If you're vibrating at a higher frequency, the more that you see. If you're vibrating on a lower frequency, the less that you see. So then you got to ask yourself, why aren't you seeing these things? That is correct. Flow Love Trust says, makes sense because every time SpaceX launches a rocket ship, the ground shakes really bad. They must be sending the rocket ships through the ocean. Makes sense. They picked being next to the Gulf of Mexico. Yes, we did. The Lady Don Don. At this stage in the game, it's not going to make much of a difference. At this stage in the game. I would not do it the Moorish way because you ain't no Moor. So don't claim something that you're not. And don't bring down the karma of what comes with that name because you're not. As far as the thing that's taking place with this system crumbling down, there is going to be some type of announcement that's going to come out about who we really are, who the quote unquote black people really are. Okay? They'll update it within the system themselves about that. Okay. I remember they said in Avatar, water has no beginning nor end. Yeah, space has always been the water. They call me heaven. That is correct. This planet is a water system. Isis, you're on fire. Boom. I mean, you guys got to start to really take a step back and think about it. There's more oceans on this planet and water on this planet than there is land masses. So obviously, this is an aquatic planet. It doesn't take a rocket scientist to figure this out. Space Navy. That's interesting, Rod Watts. I never heard that term before. Draconians also function differently than true original humans. That is correct. You have individuals out here that are alpha Draconians, but those are your a lot of them are your narcissists. Okay? You see, they came up with a term for the alpha Draconian so you wouldn't suspect that it's tied to the alpha Draconians in terms of their personality and how they operate. So they came up with the word narcissist. No, now what you need to be saying is that's a Draconian, because they are the characteristics and traits of a Draconian. Okay? Amber, I can't tell you what to do in terms of what you should do. You're going to have to go search your answers inward. Look, I'm not telling y'all, I'm not here to think for none of y'all. So don't ask me to think for you, because I'm not going to think for you. Think for yourself. Okay, Mood Too Real says, when you're activated, you have no fear of how people see you. You just speak the truth. When you're healed, or you're actively healing, you have no fear of how people see you. You just speak the truth. That's really what it is. It ain't got nothing to do with the activation. It's got everything to do with your healing, your state of healing. Because in your state of healing, you don't wear masks. And your state of healing, you know how to express when something bothers you. And your true healing, you know how to be your authentic self, and you're comfortable with all your quirks and your flaws. Your originality, the thing that makes you you. You're comfortable being you in that space. You ain't trying to put no airs from no one. You ain't trying to do nothing. You ain't trying to fit in with nobody. You know, when I started that Telegram channel, I started that channel for those that were what I consider to be like myself. Individuals who just didn't fit in, and I wasn't trying to fit into nothing. I think that was the thing that probably attracted a lot of people to me, was because I wasn't faking it. Do you know how many people that's in this space that are just fake as hell? They talk a good game, but they don't live what they say. They don't practice what they preach. Just fake. Their whole foundation is fake. They care more about money and being popular than they do about truly healing themselves and really doing the work for the collective. And the work that they do for the collective is motivated by financial means in a different kind of way. There's nothing wrong with you being compensated for the work, but this is something different coming from these individuals. Okay? Was the first pope black? No, the very first pope was the great pope, and that was during the old world. I want you guys to understand that the Vatican is way older than what you think that it is. The Vatican has been around for a very long time, and the Vatican has been ran by grays. That's why they call him the Gray Pope. He was part gray and part reptilian. He was a hybrid. Okay? You guys got to understand how much power was given to the Vatican from Lucifer. Because Lucifer was the one who did the contracts with the Vatican and various different other religions dealing with their high councils and their high priests to distort the information to give to the public so they can control the masses with it. That's why so many people have died in the name of religion, not in the name of spirituality. That's all that water I've been drinking, child. Thank you. They call me Seven Heaven. I appreciate you. Thank you, Big John Hitmaker. I appreciate you. Yeah, there were some people who sought out to infiltrate my Telegram because they didn't like the information I was placing there. Even when I went off from the internet and decided to go private, they started infiltrating there as well. Some of them is trying to infiltrate on my Discord, but see, I got a little trick for their asses. Because the thing about that Discord is once your ass is blocked, you ain't getting back on there again. And I literally just announced today, because I'm getting ready to revamp it, a lot of accounts are going to get swept off that Discord channel. Let me see what y'all talking about. What about Tartaria? Tartaria was created by the Moors. What about it? Is that what? Is what do you mean? Okay? When you guys ask me questions, make sure you place it in the correct context. You're saying to me, is that why the Library of Alexandria got burned down? Is what why the Library of Alexandria got burned down? Give me the rest of it. Drink your water in the glass. No book suggestions on grades, fam. I mean, you could go look online for that via Amazon, but I don't. Y'all gotta understand, I'm not tapped in via books. I'm tapped in via self. Books limit too much information. I mean, it's a good start. You know what I'm saying? I have a shitload of library books here that I've collected over the years, but I started going inward to get more intel about the information I was reading in the books. Some of the stuff wasn't always correct. I wondered how Christians were able to set shop in Rome. Definitely otherworldly type shit. It always has been. For what reason would an original incarnate with the parent being possible a three-letter agency? Because your parent is your handler. It's okay, Donnell Banks Coaching. I have no reason to block you. You're fine. I understand, though. Ha! Bubblegum said, let me go ahead and reload Discord again. Well, because in Star Trek, at Stargirl 69, that's because in Star Trek, I would say the Star Trek, the Stargate series, all those different types of movies and shows that they put out back in the day, they were telling you from the very beginning that this was all galactic. You just didn't understand how it worked. You see, your aspects, which are the different reincarnated versions of who you are, you got to remember, you lived in different galaxies. You lived many lifetimes. Those versions of you are still alive to this day. You can tap into those versions of yourself and talk to those versions of yourself. You are a living multiverse. They told you in Doctor Strange, okay? With the Scarlet Witch, they showed you what time it was, but y'all wasn't getting it because you were too busy being entertained. You didn't look at the movie as instructions. Then you see the Scarlet Witch going into meditation, meaning she's going inward into her cosmic self to access her, what do you call it? God damn, I'm frozen. My mind is frozen. Into her multiverse self to get access to her sons. She went to go look for the other version of herself that raises her sons because in the lifetime she's currently in, her children died. So her whole mission was to go and reunite with her children again, but the aspect of her that had access to the children, she could not interfere in that. Now, the only thing about that Doctor Strange that threw me off is this, because that's not accurate. They didn't depict it. They didn't depict it the accurate way. The accurate way, when you look at the multiverse version of yourself, there are many different versions of you. Meaning that there's a dragon version of you, an elf version of you, a fairy version of you, an angel version of you, Okay, the list goes on and on. An Arcturian version of you, a Palladian version of you, and any other cosmic being, a Lyran version of you. Okay, when you're tapping into those various different cosmic versions of you. This is why I keep telling y'all you have cosmic galactic ancestors. Your ancestors go all the way back to the cosmos. So when you call down your ancestors, little do you know, you're not just dealing with your bloodline ancestors, you're also dealing with your cosmic ancestors. You're also dealing with the deities in your bloodline. Those are also ancestors. Well, y'all got this chat jumping up in here today. My goodness, I can't keep up. And I bet you that fountain is a whole portal, fam, a whole Stargate. I bet you 10-1. I don't know why you would go and fight a war for a country that don't know how and have no respect for who you are as an individual, baby. That ain't you. When it's not to be taken at Elo higher, it's not to be taken literally, though. Remember, part of that was fiction. Part of that was real in the sense of understanding that you got to go into meditation to access the multiversal versions of yourselves. That is real. The storylines is distorted. But I want you guys to understand, and I want you to understand this, originals, because Hollywood's been making a whole lot of money off your stories, but you ain't seen a dime of that money. I suggest you start telling your higher selves that when Hollywood decides that they want to send out certain beings to come and communicate to those aspects, asking for requests to tell your story, you better tell your aspect, hell to the nah. Unless my vessel's going to eat off that story. You see, they get the story, they get the real story, and then they distort it. Now, I'm going to share something else with y'all. Would y'all believe me if I told you that Thanos is real from the Avengers? He's real. And Lucifer trained him. And Lucifer trained Cain the Conqueror. And Lucifer trained every other villain out here that you know about. Lucifer trained them all. Thoth is the aspect of Satan. So when Satan was going to war in the cosmos against the Most High, Thoth was going to war against Poseidon and Gaia. That's the same equivalent war that took place when Atlantis got destroyed by Thoth. It's the same damn war. So above, so below. So y'all didn't know about that, did you? It is real. It ain't Shaitan, it's Satan. And I'm saying it the way I'm saying it. I thought it was that too until I got clarity from him himself. Where in Lil Niki's already been talked about, go back and watch the live. When you're an original, you have the ability to talk to whoever you want to talk to. Be clear and know who you are as an original, meaning the first of your kind. Yes, Thoth is not who you think that he is. And I'm going to tell you the story about Thoth. First of all, he stole the content and called it the Emerald Tablets after he destroyed the Emerald Order. Let's start there. And the tablets that he took, he stole from Gaia. You see, the original tablets was called the Rainbow Tablets. Thoth stole those tablets, switched them up, and called them the Emerald Tablets, and claimed it as his own. He's always been nefarious. Always. Now, how do I know? Because I had karmic cycles with this fool. And I had to clear out the past life karmic cycles with that fool. I was there to witness what went down with Atlantis. Remembrances came back. Memories started coming online. I saw things play out. This is what happens when you tap in. Some people have the ability to tap in and some people don't. Which is the reason why a lot of our people, well, I'm not even claiming. Some of these folks I'm not claiming. Some of these folks I'm not claiming. But I would say the ops give so much opposition. He definitely wasn't Yeshu O'Connor. That's distortion. More distortion. All you guys are hearing is distortion. Distortion, distortion, distortion. Clearing cosmic cycles, all these beings come back to you. It's clearing the karmic cycles. You never left. Those different versions of yourself has always been with you. They never left. They're always with you. It's clearing the karmic cycles from your past lives. But they've always been with you. They've never went anywhere. Now, Elo Hire says, is it true that NI was here long before AI? It was natural intelligence that created this 3D holographic Earth. Natural intelligence always came before AI. AI, artificial. That was never supposed to be in play. You don't need artificial intelligence when you have natural intelligence. The problem is that it's how this information is being presented to you. You not remembering nothing about who you are and understanding what artificial intelligence really is. Who created it, why it was created, and what it was designed to do. What the artifice was designed to do is invert everything. It's chasing natural intelligence. It's chasing source. But nothing will ever be able to out-trump natural intelligence. What is natural intelligence? The sun. The sun will wipe out AI. AI cannot withstand the sun. You think I'm bullshitting? Take your laptops, your phones, and let them sit out there in the sun for a day and watch what happens to your stuff. Watch how your phones won't work no more. Watch how your laptop won't work no more. Nothing out-trumps it. Natural intelligence is extremely powerful. But they got you guys running around here believing that artificial intelligence is all whatever. Well, let's see what happens when Nemesis decides to shut that whole shit down. And not just Nemesis, there's going to be other suns coming on, making this planet much hotter than what it really is right now. What do you think is going to happen? Nemesis, Ra, Terah, Set, all those are suns. And Poo's a sun. Okay? All these sun gods out here that are going to be pulling up around the planet. What do you think? Why do you think that's happening? Judgment. So while you guys are getting caught up in this artifice, which is the inverted system, You're not understanding that they're in their last stages before it becomes fully destroyed. No, Draconians cannot take the sun, baby. Oh my goodness. Wow. I am Lord 369 says, I've worked on AI individuals that may look like us, but for example, one of them was missing a pinky toenail bed, plus no pulsations in the wrist of other individuals from massage therapy work. Well, why the hell would they come in and get a massage? That's crazy. I don't make herbs, I grow herbs. This is the reason why the planet is heating up. That is correct. Haiti has its own problems that they need to fix. Haiti has an issue with their leadership. I don't love no robots, fam. I don't give a damn about no robots. Need love. Robot kiss my ass. I don't play no games with no damn robots, no AI, no artificial intelligence, no none of that. I don't play them type of games. I made my position very clear about my position about artificial intelligence. I've been consistent in my message from day one about that. I don't care for it. I damn sure don't trust the shit, and I'm good on that. I don't need no artificial nothing. I see something very potent growing in your yard. Interesting. Okay, BG Glory says, have y'all been paying attention to the UV index? It's been double digits consistently. Boom. He's not Thoth, but I know who is Thoth. That's Rod Hayes. He's Thoth. He is Thoth. I did check into him. That's who he is. Are consciousness trapped inside of AI? Are some of the originals trapped in AI? Some been saying this. That is correct, Tamika. Yes, I talked about the transhumanism. I talked about how they can transfer consciousness over. And yes, they did this to a lot of originals who signed contracts in the entertainment business. A lot of these people in the entertainment business signed these 400-page contracts. There's so much legalese and so much shit in those contracts, even the lawyers that they hire have a hard time getting through it. Then they place sigils and seal magic on those contracts and add invisible clauses that the person does not see. When you're doing a contract, even if you're dealing with NFL, if you're dealing with basketball, baseball, whomever you are that is considered to be operating in the entertainment field, that is controlled by certain individuals to put together contracts and put together rituals over that individual's life. In that person's contract, it states that if the person does not perform in the contract what they're supposed to perform, or if they deviate, then that person gets assassinated. They are cloned. They're already cloned to begin with anyway. They're going to create a clone while you're still alive. They're going to create a clone. They're going to assassinate you. They're going to transfer your consciousness over to a new sleeve, and they're going to bring your ass back out again. Allegedly Beyonce. You guys can clearly see that ain't the same damn Beyonce. If y'all can't see that shit, then you're blind as hell. If y'all think that's the original Beyonce, y'all got nothing coming. That ain't her. Period. Allegedly. That ain't her. And I'll tell you something else too. I don't believe that's the real Tory Lanez in that prison either. I don't believe that's the real Tory Lanez. I believe Tory Lanez has been cloned. Once I saw that picture that I saw, y'all came out and said, oh, well, he was talking this, that, and the third. I don't give a damn that he was talking this, that, and the third. When you understand who's behind that, who got him locked up in the first place and what the agenda was, when you understand who's behind that, I don't believe that's the real Tory Lanez. I believe that's a clone. There's a lot of clones that you guys are seeing playing in your faces that are not the original people. That's why when you go in the entertainment business, you got to be careful about how far up you want to go. Now, if you want to be in low key, working behind the scenes, that's one thing. You don't have to worry about that shit. Like if you're doing tour management, if you're doing PR, if you're doing marketing, if you're doing the logistics, if you're a musician and you're playing instruments for the top person, whoever the top person is, that's getting all those millions of fans, they trade their soul in exchange for those millions of fans. Be clear. Not a single original that has ever been famous on the level that you see, not a single one has not had to do a contract. And when you do not perform and you look like you're going to deviate, they're going to take you right on up out of here and bring your clone in. The only one they haven't been able to catch up to is Kanye West. I checked on Kanye. That's still the real Kanye. Now, what they did do to him is they put rituals on him. They put heavy witchcraft and spell work on him, causing him to speak out of pocket the way he's been speaking. They've done all that. But Kanye's always on the move, and he knows those people are after him. They said after they put the clone Beyonce out, what did they do with the original? And put them in cryostasis. Michael's gone. They caught him. I'm not going to speak on Tupac. I'm gonna leave y'all think on that on your own. They harvest the energy. They sacrifice them. Or they put them in cryostasis. It just depends. Someone said, why? Why do you think? To keep their power structure going. No, that's her clone. It's not that her clone isn't fully downloaded. That's her. That's her clone. Okay, someone says, what is soul hopping to gain when they incarnate into those situations? Well, first of all, they're not incarnating into those situations in the way that you're saying it. Now, spirit hopping, ancient ones have the ability to jump from body to body. Okay? They do this in several different ways. They do this. They have their consciousness transferred over and they're placed into a body sleeve. Okay? Some of them also have the ability, because they're so powerful, they actually can go in and take over another vessel. So think Invasion of the Body Snatchers. Think that. Man, go look it up. Someone said, what's cryostasis? Go look it up, child. Khalees is good. She never got big enough. Pharrell shut her down before she can really get as big as she could have gotten. You didn't hear me say anything about Jamie Foxx. Somebody else said Jamie Foxx, but he is a clone. This Jamie Foxx you guys are saying right now is a clone. I'm going to say allegedly. That's like asking evil why it's knowing evil things. I feel you, bro. The questions be killing me, fam. What about Kendrick Lamar? He's not a clone. That's the real Kendrick Lamar. Go research cryostasis. I'm not going to keep giving you guys the answers to every damn thing. Y'all got to go do the research yourself. Y'all sucking me dry as hell. Go do the research. Cryostasis is when they put somebody inside of a frozen container. Or they put you in a container and they freeze you. Or they drop your temperature down low enough to where they can preserve your body. But you're kind of like frozen. And you're sitting in a container. And when they need to bring you back around to clone your ass again, they bring you back out and clone your ass again. Think Matrix. The first Matrix you ever seen, and they show people in the pods. I'm going to need you to think like that. There's nothing wrong with her child running from the camera. She's still with a camera in her face. That gets old. You know how messed up that's got to be for children to constantly have cameras in their faces? If it annoys adults, you don't think it would annoy you don't think it would annoy the children? They didn't get Erykah Badu. Erykah Badu is still the real Erykah. Erykah is who she is. Erykah is a woman that knows a lot of esoteric arts. They didn't get to Erykah. Erykah is who she is. Y'all just scared of yourselves and you don't understand it. You don't understand certain things because you're too scared of yourself. Someone says, why would Kendrick Lamar work with someone like Playboi Carti? If you're making music, man. It ain't got to be all personal and whatnot. If they making music, they making music together. It ain't personal. All right, guys. I had a good time talking with you guys. I already told you who he would. I don't know. Who told you that? Why did you think that just because he wrote the Compendium and the Emerald Tablets? No. But his aspect, his higher self is Thoth's right-hand man, though. Cosmic reading at Amber Kamara, something like that. It's cosmic reading if you want to find out who you are. Chris Brown is the real deal, not a clone. He still performs. He still does what he's supposed to do. As long as the people do what they're supposed to do, they don't have to worry about things like that happening to them. But as soon as they start deviating from what they signed, it's a wrap. Now, some of these individuals can get out of their contract. It's blood in, it's blood out. That means somebody has to be sacrificed in order for them to get out of the contract. I'm glad you guys enjoyed the live. I really appreciate y'all. Today was a beautiful, 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 peaceful, beautiful day today. I've just been so relaxed. Hung out with my brother today. Man. All right, my babies. I appreciate every single last one of y'all. I'm glad you guys took the time out to stick around with me on the live. I just had to get some things off my chest. This live was off the chain. I know it was. I will save it. Now I gotta go. You're talking about no, please don't leave. I have to go, baby. I gotta go. And let me just say this one thing. Shout out to also not only to my Instagram followers, but also my YouTube followers, because if you're seeing this on YouTube, I need you to like and subscribe. Okay? Like and subscribe. And come check me out on my YouTube channel. I am Isis Wisdom. All right, y'all. Peace and blessings.